Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. We are built by Sparkies for Sparkies. Our vision is clear: make money, build wealth, be kind. Our mission is deliberate. We help electrical, solar, and aircon business owners generate revenue, drive profits, and control their time. If you would like to hear more about our program, please reach out. I'll chuck the link in the show notes and enjoy the podcast. We always hope it's beneficial for your business. We hope it cuts through noise and helps you understand what's important and what's non-negotiable. Thanks so much for all your support so far. We appreciate you. We love you. Enjoy the podcast. Why boring businesses win. This is the sort of wrap up, the finale, if you will, of our how to make more money in your electrical, your solar, your aircon business. Very applicable to your service business, but how do you make more money? And then how do you stay on the hamster wheel that is positive? Now, let me go through this. It's so interesting because so often the hamster wheel is referred to as a negative. And, you know, I haven't talked to a hamster. They don't speak. Unless, of course, you count Scabbers the rat as a hamster who can transform into Peter Pettigrew. But Harry Potter reference, unless you've been living under a rock for the past 20 years. But the hamster wheel is so often associated in a negative sense. Or, you know, definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And you're like, yeah, shut up. Everyone shut up. And it's so crazy because it's like negative reinforcement, negative result. And I was like, I want to try and I'll dig my way out. I'll do it again. And then we talked last time about sort of the different types of hamster wheels, one being in a negative cycle. The other hamster wheel you can be in is that you feel like what you're doing is working. You're just getting a bit bored. You're just getting distracted, shiny object syndrome. Hey, this is working. What if I did something else? What if I try and reinvent the wheel? What if I put my money in a silly thing? So you can get distracted and disorientated, and that can be really negative just because you're bored. And what I want to say here, why boring businesses win, is because what if you got stuck in a positive hamster cycle? What if you got stuck in doing something that worked and then continually did it? And you didn't just do it for 1 month. You didn't just do it for 6 months. You didn't just do it for a year. You did it for 20 years. And most often, I want you to close your eyes right now. Unless you're driving, that'd be psycho. But I want you to close your eyes right now or just wander off into the ether of your mind. Flash back to a time when your business was working. No doubt you'll have a time and you'll be like, oh, that's when it was working. It was profitable. I was feeling good. And there'll be some common denominators there. It might be that you were pricing jobs correctly. It might be that you were exercising. It might be a combination of 10, 20, 30 things. It might be, chances are it's just 5 to 10 things that you were doing well and you were doing consistently. And then you got caught in a rut. You got flipped off the hamster wheel that's positive and onto the hamster wheel that's negative, and you started to do different things. So what you're doing was no doubt working. Speaking to someone this week, who shall remain nameless, legend guy. I got so much time for this guy. And it's sort of like what he was doing, and this is such a common story across trade business owners. It's like you go hustling for work and you find some work and you grow your business and you get some work, and all of a sudden the things that you did to get that work, things like getting quotes back on time, things like responding to people, things like getting back to phone calls and text messages and emails, just things that you're doing that work, things like pricing in work hours, not at nighttime when you're tired, when you're distracted, when you've just had a liter of blue ribbon ice cream straight to the hips. It's a moment on the lips, and it's a lifetime on the hips. And that's kind of symbolic of those jobs. It's a moment to quote, and it's a lifetime of regret. It's a lifetime on the hips. That is the financial disaster of your close month, close year, or whatever you cook up at nighttime that's not great. So chatting to people, and this is maybe a common theme of my week, has been people diverting from what works. People diverting from what works. And you know what works. You know what works. You know what works. We've been through ways to make more money in your business. And if you take one thing out of this pod and one thing only, I want you to flash back to the movie Joe Dirt, when he's like, it puts the lotion on his skin. It puts the lotion on. All right. It's like, if you haven't watched Joe Dirt, ever, this is your sign to stop the podcast and go watch it. If you need to revisit it, you might want to revisit it, but it puts the lotion on, not once, not twice, but for 20 years, daily. And I want you to say, like, with your business, why boring businesses win and why so many entrepreneurs lose eventually is because they divert from what works because they're bored, they're distracted, they're tired, they're disorientated, they're unaware of how good they're doing. They're unaware of how far they've progressed. They're unaware of what step to take next. They're just unaware, or they're distracted, bored, like I was saying. And I want to tell you, stay on the tracks of what works. What doesn't work? Getting off the train tracks. What doesn't work? Driving your train across grass. It needs to be on the train tracks. We've been through the ways to make more money. We've got revenue exceeding expenditure every single week, every single month. What comes in must be more than what goes out. Not just 1 month, not just 2 months, not just 6 months, 5 years in a row. A consistent trait is like everyone just has like 1 good month or 6 good months in a row and they want free money for everyone. You get a Kia Carnival. So do you. You get a pay rise. You get this. I'm going to Bali. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm buying a house. And I'm not saying you can't do those things and don't want those things. Kia Carnival is perhaps the biggest blessing known to mankind on 4 wheels. Crazy. 20-inch rims rolling on dubs. Straight down the main street of your local town, doing manies, dropping laps in your Kia Carnival with a 6-foot aluminium ladder tied to the top of it. Nah, alley ladders. No dice. All right, where were we? We're talking about people having a couple of good months, having 1 good year, and then going like, oh, I'm going to risk it all on this risky venture. And you don't need to do that. We've got Dave, our in-house app, coming out Monday. To timestamp this, is coming out in like 3 days' time. It's the most excited I've potentially ever been on a work front. This thing is going to change your life and guide you and protect you and help you build and also help you know what to do and take those next steps. It's not confusing. It's not rocket science. It's not crazy. Every week, what comes in must be more than what goes out. Every month, what goes in must be more than what comes out. Every single year, what comes in must be more than what goes out. Every single job, whether it's big or small, what comes in must be, say it with me, must be what? Must be what? It must be greater than what comes out. Very, very simple, right? Very, very simple. Revenue must exceed expenditure. Don't get distracted. Don't get tired. Don't give up. Just stick with what works. And it might not be you checking if revenue exceeds expenditure, but it must be someone. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Let me say that again. It's not always easy. It's not always easy. It's not always going to be easy. You're going to be scratching for time. You're going to put it on the back burner. You're going to put it on the shelf. It's not always easy. And especially if you deal with fear of success, fear of failure, self-sabotage, or especially if your common sort of resolve within yourself is to do something that works and be like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change. I'm going to divert from this. I'm going to get distracted. I'm going to get bored. This is crazy. So do what works. Revenue exceeds expenditure. It might not be your job. It's not always easy. It's always worth it. It's always worth it. Doing the right thing is always worth it. And Dave, our app, makes it so easy to do the right thing. It's a combination of everything I've learned in the last 20 years and all our members have learned and all our staff have learned. It's absolutely amazing. Revenue must exceed expenditure. That was step 1. We went through that a few weeks ago. Step 2, everything you do, everything the light touches is yours. What about that shadowy place? That's a Lion King reference. The shadowy place is jobs under 20% net profit. That's the shadowy place. We don't go there. We don't go there. That's where the hyenas are. They're going to eat your money. They're going to eat your time. That's where the bad staff members are. That's where the bad clients are. We don't go there. You know what's crazy? You don't have to go there. You don't have to deal with people you don't like. You don't have to employ people you don't like. You don't have to be someone you don't like. You don't have to use materials you don't like. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You don't have to do anything that's risky. You don't have to do anything. No one's got to get your arm twisted around your back, being like, do it. Do that job for Betty. Do their ceiling fans. It puts the lotion on. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. No one's twisting your arm. Every job you do must exceed 20% net profit. If you start and finish, it must exceed. Now, why I talk in net profit and we talk in gross and net, they're both very, very important. You can't buy a house with gross profit. In fact, you can't even buy a house with net profit. You have to take that out and put it into your personal and pay some tax on that. Of course you are. But gross profit doesn't tell you anything that's left over. We want to know gross because it's going to be the best indicator into your quoting and your labor and materials extraction for revenue. But if there's nothing left in the net, there's nothing left in the net. So it's so critical that we bring our GP within a market level and we bring our net profit within a market level. And it's 20 to 35% excluding your market wage. Excluding your market wage. You should be paying yourself a market wage. You should be chipping into your super. You should be chipping into your super for 40 years so you can retire with a great nest egg with some commercial property. This is the goal, right? This is what we're going to help you do with Dave. We're going to partner with you. So in 15 years' time, you're like, thank God I listened to that guy and joined Sparky Coach. You don't even have to join. I don't care if you don't join. Just do something with your money that's positive. Make good money, build some wealth, and be kind. Every single job that comes through, you must hit 20 to 40% net profit. Arguably, it's so interesting. We've built these quote checkers, and the difference between 20 to 30 to 40% net profit is sometimes a couple of $100. If Betty's going to pay $640, she might pay $690. The difference might just make a huge difference to your end of year result. Closed jobs net profit, they must exceed 20% or it's not good enough, or either stop doing it or change it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. All right. Ongoing jobs must be on a pathway to net profit. Your ongoing jobs must be on a pathway to net profit. This is point number 3. I've said this so many times and I'll say it again, right? Ongoing jobs or quoted jobs over a long period of time, it's the easiest thing to get wrong. It's the hardest thing to measure because there's so much subjectivity in there. It's the easiest thing to get wrong. It's the hardest thing to measure, and it's the hardest thing to correct. It's so hard to correct. You might be paying for your sins, aka I quoted that job poorly in the daytime, nighttime. I didn't have everything quite organized. You might be paying for that for years. It might be years. If you've ever sent labor and materials to a job where you've exhausted your progress claims, it's a terrible feeling. In other words, you need to claim something because you've spent all this money on labor materials this month, but you can't because there's nothing left. That is an awful feeling. I pray that you never get to that point. I don't want you to ever get to that point. Or you might have claimed and you might have mishandled the job. So it's like, well, I'm only here because I mishandled it. I spoke to someone this week who shall remain nameless. Spoke to someone this week who they spent 48 hours on a fault find. Like there's an aircon fault find, about a 100-meter pipe run. 48 collective hours between trading apprentices. I was like, do you know how much this has cost you? He's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, whoa, this can't happen again. So we quoted the job properly. We just got lazy with one join. That's all it took. Bit of complacency, bit of laziness, bit of lack of staff management, bit of lack of process, bit of lack of discipline, bit of lack of effort, whatever you want to call it. It sucked. It was a lot of money, right? 10 grand, bang, down the drain. For what? For nothing. Not only was it 10 grand down the drain, it was also the business owner's weekend because the job had to be handed over into a school week. It was at a school. So it's crazy. I want to encourage you guys, get this stuff right. All right. So revenue must exceed expenditure. Closed jobs must exceed 20%. Have to. It could be 40%, could be 50%. I don't care what it is. It just must exceed 20%. Your ongoing jobs must be on a pathway to get to 20 or very, 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 very close to. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Your net profit per hour or gross profit per hour across a small job is significantly more than across a project. So be careful on your projects. You might think you got all this work, but it might be at incredibly low or no net profit per hour. And arguably GP per hour and NP per hour are the most critical information. It tells you so much. Sat with someone yesterday, you guessed it. They shall remain nameless. Love this guy, by the way. And we looked at the job, and one of them, I don't know what it was like a small job. It was, let's say it's putting a ceiling fan in for Betty. Betty's like, I'm getting sweaty. It's getting hot in here. So put some ceiling fans on. And you're like, I am putting the fan on. Anyway, so Betty's frothing on your Nelly references and also the ceiling fans going in. We cross-referenced this job, $184 net profit per hour. He had another job that was a trading apprentice for a full day. I don't know what it was, but let's just say, what do you reckon that was? Let's say it was like a tricky pool circuit or a tricky spa circuit or a tricky sauna circuit, whatever. It's kind of irrelevant. And that was $25 net profit per hour. And if you looked at it blanket-wise, you'd be like, what one did you make more money on? You go, oh, well, I had the trading apprentice there for the day. Like, of course I make more. So just because you think you're making money, that doesn't mean you're making money. Just because if you're not checking, you don't know. And I see people go, oh, I know. You don't know. Unless you're putting it in an independent commission, aka Dave, every single week, every single job, you don't know. There's no way you know. There's no way. All right. So your ongoing jobs must be on a pathway for net profit. Point number 4 was labor efficiency. Now, I split this into 3. You guys would have heard that. If you didn't hear that last podcast, go back and have a listen to it. Labor efficiency is threefold, right? It's 3 ways. It's the classic menage a trois of the labor efficiency. It is allocation. Do all the hours have a home? It is utilization. Did everyone hit what they were required to hit in our break-even calculator? We call it the beast meter. And it's also the quality of hours. Was the quality of hours any good? They might be allocated. They might be utilized, but were they any good? And that is the most subjective reference you'll have to give all year, all week. But it's so critical to the lifeblood of your business, to the success of your business, to the profitability of your business, that you are aware of what quality of hours comes through the business. And you reference, oh my gosh, we had this job and Joey was there and Billy was there and Joey was a weapon, he killed it. And Billy was absolutely useless. He might as well have been a rusty pair of pliers on top of a potato. It's Mr. Potato Head, but Mr. Ply Head. So it's like you can reference that. It's so critically important. Now, probably didn't explain this enough last time, but 2 hours, let's just say it's $125 an hour. It's the easiest way to do math, especially with especially with like a materials margin on top of it as well. That's $250, right? If you cook 2 hours a day, let's say it's 2 hours a week, $250 a week. If you do that twice per over 2 people, that's $500 a week. That's $25,000 a year. Lost, gone, sacrificed to the trade gods because you didn't care enough to put some numbers in a calculator. Now, opportunity cost is absolutely huge. So often we're like, I've got no time to get in the office. The office is the only place where you can save money that makes you money. I referenced one of our members who made a couple of phone calls about this subcontracting stuff that had to get done. The job went from $100,000 to $40,000 in 2 phone calls. Let's call that an hour. They saved $60,000 by getting another quote because they spent a couple of hours making phone calls. You can't make that kind of money on site. Sorry, of course you can make that money on site. Not that quickly. Not that quickly. I reference people that, okay, get this. If you're busy right now and you're getting pulled out to site, you'd be better off injured. I don't say this to injure yourself. Definitely do that. When I drilled through my fingers with a speedball, which was of course an accident, I was 12 weeks in this cast. It looks like a periscope. So 12 weeks, a whole bunch of hand therapy. It was absolutely crazy. How I landed in that position was rushing from job to job, from place to place, from space to space, and slipped with a speedball, brand new speedball, 25 mil bit. If you're using a 20 mil bit, you're an absolute kook. Why drill through your hand with a 20 mil bit when you can use that 25 mil bit? But honestly, 20 mil bits suck. Use the 25. Anyway, I digress. That propelled my business to the next stratosphere because all of a sudden I couldn't work. I could have all the tools in the car. I can have all the knowledge. I can do the job better than anyone. I couldn't do it. My hand was in a plastic cast. Most of you would be better off strapping a cast around your arm, pretending your arm's broken, typing one-handed to get back into the office so you had an excuse. When your tools are in the car, there's no real excuse. And when you're feeling bad to the staff and you got to rip and tear on site because that's what I do. I go and help out the boys or the girls. That's what I do. And it's like, you can make $1,000 on site. You can lose 50 grand that day by not getting that quote in, sacrificing that relationship to the builder, not organizing the materials, cooking that relationship with a commercial client who needed that answer back right then. You can cook 50 grand, but you're trying to make $1,000. Do you see what's happening here? It's crazy. It's like, oh, I'm going to go rip and tear on the tools. Cool. Let's say you get 40 hours on the tools. You probably haven't progressed your workload that much. You would have been better off spending a whole day chasing up a subcontractor, tradie apprentice team. Hypothetically, let's say this, from 7 to 3:30, you were like, I am going to make 1,000 phone calls. I'm going to chase up a tradie apprentice team for a subcontractor just for the week. I just need them. Now, that 8 hours, which you'd probably be successful, I promise you you'll be successful in that. 8 hours is a long time making phone calls. Put your Bluetooth headset in. Listen to some Savage Garden in between the phone calls. But that 8 hours just got you back 80 hours that week. You can't do 80 hours a week. You can't do that kind of work on site, but you can get someone else to do it. Now, flip this around. Let's say you spend a whole week chasing up and you find a tradie. So you spent 40 hours locked in a den in a dungeon, putting the lotion on. It puts the lotion on. It makes the phone calls. You spent 40 hours chasing up a tradie with interviews, with back and forth, with, yeah, we can do this, with whatever. You landed that trade. That just got you 2,000 hours a year. 40 hours just got you 2,000. Now, if you're a calculator, if you're a spreadsheet, what do you think's worth it? Of course, you spend the 40, get the 2,000. You spend the 8, get the 80. There's a huge opportunity cost to you with a pair of pliers in your hand. If you're in between getting on tools, off tools, get off the tools as fast as you can with as limited stress as you can, because it's in the in-between mode where you're really busy, really stressed, you've got 2 full-time jobs, you can really make some bad decisions. So if you wanted to lose calculation, if you buy yourself, you need a day in the office. If you've got a tradie, you need 2 days in the office. 2 tradies, 3 days. 4 tradies, and so on. It's like, don't stuff that up. Your office stuff, the money is made or lost where? If you listen to us regularly, you'll yell this out. I want you to yell this out. Where is the money made or lost? The money is made or lost where? In the office. The office. It puts the lotion on. The office. The money's made or lost in the office. The office. The office. You need to get that tattooed on your arm. You need to get that tattooed on your lower back. It might as well be a bullseye, right? Get it tattooed somewhere. Write it on the wall. The money's made or lost in the office. You missed the office time. You missed the opportunity you missed the opportunity to make a lot of money, to save a lot of money, and to build and strengthen the relationships. And that's what business is about. It's about relationships. If I ask most of you what your biggest skill set is, you'd probably first and foremost say, I'm a rough-in. I'm the best rough-in. I'm a rough-in artist. No one does it like me. Cool. Secondly, you'd probably say people. I hope you would say people. If not people, you need to get really, really good at dealing with people. Really good. Really good. Big lead up here. And I haven't, building out Dave, our app, has taught me so much. I probably never learned so much about our business and about what I want for your business. I've probably never been so dialed on that front. As I woke up the other morning and I'm like, far out, our vision has always been make money, build wealth, be kind. And that's awesome. And it was troubling me a little bit that it started with make money. It was like, make some money. And that can mean different things to different people. If you're a dickhead, you're going to take that and be like, I deserve that money. Betty, your ceiling fan's $2,000. And I never want that to happen. I always want, I was like, make money, build wealth, be kind. What are we missing? I woke up and I was like, we're missing a service part. There's a service part, like serve the people. If you serve the people and those people tell their friends, and that's what you want to do. You want to serve the people. You want to serve your staff members. You want to serve your clients. You want to serve your wholesaler. You want service to just explode out of you. And I wrote, serve people, make money, build wealth, be kind. And it just wasn't sitting right. It's a cool concept, but it's not quite there. And I sort of like, what about be excellent? And this is point number 5 in making money. You got revenue exceeds expenditure, closed jobs net profit, ongoing jobs net profit, labor efficiency, be excellent. And this is came through and protruded into our vision, our company vision. Be excellent, make money, build wealth, be kind. It starts with you being excellent, with having that excellent heart of service, with making, no one's saying you can't make excellent money. I want you to make excellent money, right? I never want you to rip someone off. I never want you to do the wrong thing. I never want you to lie. I think you should be excellent. Lying is not excellent. Truth stands the test of time. Lies are soon exposed. Your product should be so good that it serves people. Your product on site should be absolutely legendary. You should be going to the car at 4 o'clock and getting that last screw, putting it in. No job, no stone should be left unturned. You should be applying the dogma, the most important job is the one you're at. You should be applying that if this conversation isn't going to serve my vision and mission in 5 years, do I really want to fly off the handle? Do I really want to get angry? Is this going to propel the business forward and progress it or not? When I get that new client, does this go through the metric of net profit, of revenue, and of my purpose in life or in business? Does it go through those metrics? If not, it might go through one or two of them and it might not go through the third one. So we want to be excellent. We want to do excellent work. Do excellent work. You want to be excellent and do excellent work on site. You do want to do excellent work off site. Get back to people. Remember the thing that progressed and propelled your business forward. You want to do excellent work with excellent people for excellent people. I'm going to stop traffic there for a sec. You want excellent staff and you want excellent clients. You want those two working in cohesion with each other. Your life is too short to work for people you don't like and to work with people you don't like. Don't do that. It's not going to propel and progress your business forward. You want to use excellent materials. Don't cut corners with materials. Don't cut corners. Dave, our app has cost us an absolute fortune. I don't care. It's the right thing to do for our members. It's the right thing to do for your future. And I'll put that on the line and I will do it again. On-site excellence, off-site excellent communication. Just be excellent. Just be as excellent as you can be. If you make a mistake, make a phone call and apologize. If you think something could be better, make it better. Don't walk past things that suck. Don't walk past hard conversations. In fact, a hard conversation only gets harder. You should call them easy conversations because arguably right now is the easiest that conversation is ever going to be. Be excellent. Make money. Build wealth, be kind, be excellent. It starts with your product. Is your product excellent? Where is it dropping? How can it get better? It's always going to be improving, but what are those couple of little 1%ers you can do? You're in the game of 1%ers. How do you get 1% better every single week? Your product, your net profit, your ongoing jobs. How do you get everything tighter? How do you get labor efficiency up 5%, 2%, 1%? How do you consistently improve? I'll tell you what, consistently improving is boring because you're going to do the same thing on repeat, just a little bit better. Or you're going to be like, I'm going to try something new. You know what? That was pretty tough. I employed that admin. That wasn't the best fit. I'm going to have to go back to ground zero and sort of start again. You know what? I had that tradie. I got that tradie, but it wasn't the best fit. I have to go back to ground zero. So sometimes in the pursuit of excellence, in the pursuit of being better, you can feel like you're going back to ground zero a lot. But listen up. Listen to this. It's the car park analogy. Have you ever driven through like a Westfields or a large multi-story car park? You're doing the same thing, right? You're driving through same, but you're on a different level. You're progressing to a different level. You've gone from the yellow lot to the red lot. You've gone from the itchy lot to the scratchy lot. Remember, kids, we're in the itchy lot. My Simpsons people will get it. You're on a different level. You're thinking differently. You've gotten better. You feel like you're going around in circles, but you're progressing. Being excellent is boring. Make your business just do the things that it likes. Put the lotion on its skin. Make sure revenue exceeds expenditure. Make sure your net profit is making sense. Make sure your months are closing. Make sure you have that North Star, that vision, that 15-year plan. That I want you to see where you're going to live in 15 years and be like, that's where I'm going to. That's what I'm doing. If I can just be excellent, I can make some money. If I can just make some money and keep being excellent, now I can build some wealth. If I can just build some wealth, and if I can keep making money, and if I can keep being excellent, and I'm making sure that I'm kind to myself and the others around me, we're cooking at this point. So don't overcomplicate it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to be bored with oiling the wheel. You just need to do the things that work on repeat, on reheat. You need to be stuck in the positive hamster wheel of positive reinforcement, of doing the things that work, of putting the lotion on day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. Is it boring? Yeah, sometimes. Is it sexy? Sometimes. Sexy is subjective. But find the sexiness in the boring. Find it. Find it. You need to find it. And if not you, then someone has to do this stuff. You want a high-level person checking over this. Be excellent out there. Be excellent. Be excellent. You deserve it. Your business deserves it. Your staff deserve it. Your clients deserve it. Everyone around you deserves it. You want to grow your business, be excellent. Do the right thing consistently over 15 years. Make some money consistently over 15 years. Be a good person consistently, or the best person you can be consistently over 15 years. And you and your business will land in a spot where you're like, thank God I did this. Thanks so much for hanging out. We are Sparky Coach. We love you. See you soon. Don't forget to put the lotion on the skin. That's a wrap on another episode of the Sparky Coach podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. It would mean a lot to us if you could like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, and leave a comment if you think that pleases the electrical gods. And we hope this episode and all our episodes propel you in your trade God ordained destiny of making money, building wealth, and being kind. Thanks so much for all your support. See you guys soon.